Hello, you alright? Do you want to come and have a look at my van?
Yeah, sure.
So this is my T5 short wheelbase transporter van. It's from 2006. I bought it probably about 2 years ago and I quickly did it up so we could take it to France. And initially I had these grand plans of what is all going to be finished in time for France. I spent a lot of time doing like the floor and doing the side panels and doing the roof. And I didn't really have enough time to do the furniture at the end, so it was a bit of a rush. So this is just phase one, if you like, and there's still so much that I want to do to it, but this is sort of the basics that we had, and it was perfectly adequate to go to France for 2 weeks. If you want to know more about our trip to France, then subscribe, because our next video, we're going to talk about exactly what we did in France, which was our first trip abroad. One of the first things I did for the van was put this window in, which was so much fun. But it looks pretty decent, doesn't it? That's pretty smart. And it worked a treat. This is an old table that I got for free from Facebook Marketplace, and I chopped it down the middle because it had a huge crack and made it a little bit narrower. And I've put a little chest top in there. Down in here there's 3 containers, and we store like our food in there, our saucepans and cutlery and cleaning stuff. And then here we have a little cabinet. This is our doors from our old garden shed, and this is where we kept our food. We haven't got any food in there now because we're not going anywhere. Oh yeah, of course, the kettle. This is our little pop-up kettle. Probably seen one before, but this is revolutionary. It actually works really well. You'd think that it wouldn't boil properly or something, but it worked so well. It's ideal. This is the bed. It worked perfectly fine, but it probably got a bit rattly towards the end because everything was just sort of shaking loose. I'll just show you how I pull it apart. So it goes something a bit like that. It's a pretty big bed actually, and the mattress is actually made of this foam, which I bought from a hardware store, and I just said the sizes I wanted it cut down to, and it's probably a little bit too thick. I'd probably go a little bit thinner if I was to do it again, because this is really firm. Probably too firm, and the thinner you go, the less firm it is. I'm just going to put this back quickly.
Your hat's gone.
So yeah, there's room for improvement. I also need to get mattress covers that actually fit, because that meant that these are just blankets that are folded underneath, and they get caught in the slats that are kind of going together like that to make the bed fold back together. This is all made up of 25 by 25 mil wood. The slats are made out of an old bed frame that we had. Underneath usually we have 2 chairs there. They're just normal garden chairs that you pull out. Nice and easy. We have a storage container in here. I think this one was your storage container actually, wasn't it? Because this is the larger one. Then we've got the chocks to go under the wheels to level up the van. This one was my container because it was smaller because of the wheel arch being there. We'll go around the back in a minute and show you those two. So we've got this sort of nice L shape area. I know there's loads of different configurations for it, but I like the idea of having quite a sociable little space with where you could have a table here and you could have a few friends in here and you could be playing cards or whatever. Eventually I want a wardrobe to go here, quite nice, and that'd be loads of storage. And I'd like a set of drawers to go there as well. That was actually going to be in there before we went to France, but it didn't happen. I ran out of time. Up here we've got a lighter socket. We didn't really use those very much, but they're there just in case. And we've got 2 USBs. We've got 1 amp and 2 amp. 2.1 amp. This little bit of blue tack's here because there's a really bright blue light there and it was keeping us awake at night. These 2 bits of netting, these were just last minute storage because I wanted to put a shelf there, and I still do, but it was just a bit like, we need somewhere to put stuff, let's just screw these on for the moment. And they worked really well. They're good for holding 2 books. They're from eBay. Here we have 2 230 volt sockets that are powered from the inverter. And we've got another USB, and we've got another lighter socket, and then we've got this, which tells you what percentage of battery you have left in your leisure battery, and it gives you amp hours and watts and amps and volts and everything. I've got another set of 230 plugs that I want to put in the back at some point as well, so you can have the back door open and maybe, I don't know, power a TV off it. Maybe not. So I've used a couple different insulation techniques for this. For the side panels, that's what I did earlier. This is the sound deadening. I've got this on all the big panels. It doesn't have to really go right to the corners because it's just taking the vibration out of these panels, because It's completely dead. That would have rung before. And then on here, underneath here, there is recycled plastic bottle insulation. And then this is like an aluminium sheet over the top, which has got air bubbles in it. A bit like bubble wrap, but aluminium. And then it's got aluminium tape around the edges, creating a vapor barrier. I've used riv nuts to hold this panel in place. I haven't finished it on this one. Originally, I used the original trim sort of poppers that are in there, but I'm in the middle of replacing it with riv nuts at the moment. In the roof, this is all 3mm ply. I've used, what's it called? Polystyrene insulation, then gone over it again with that same aluminium bubble wrap style stuff, and then put aluminium tape on the edges. And on each sort of rib across the roof of the van, I've riv nutted it, and then I've put plywood on it, and I've screwed these 3mm plywood boards into the thicker plywood because I didn't want to use self-tappers to go straight into the side of the van, because I think self-tappers are just a world problem really. You can sort of use them once and then you have to try and relocate the holes and they go rusty, and at least riv nuts you can quite easily take down panels and put them back up again. For the floor, this is the original floor that came with the van. It's sort of like this grippy sort of wood. Don't know what you'd call it, but I took the floor up and I put in this wooden frame, and I Sikaflexed the frame to the floor, and in between the pieces of the frame I put polystyrene insulation, and then I taped around the outside of the insulation with aluminium tape, and then I've screwed this floor to the frame. And Sikaflex is really strong, so you haven't got anything to worry about it lifting off the floor or anything. So these power the lights. If we want to turn the lights on, we'd better turn on the battery. So let's go and turn on the battery. So this is the cut-off switch, which goes under the seat here. Oh, there we go, right way. We have 110 leisure battery, inverter, charger for when we plug it into the hookup, and then we've got the 12-volt circuit there. So that's powered the lights now. Right, now if I flick the switch, 4 LED spotlights. Perfect, right? And give you a little bit of a demo of this. These curtains were rushed together as well to get it ready in time. There's a bit of a gap at the top, but I'll sort that out later. These go across like this. These were made by my mum.
Cornish colours.
Yeah, so my mum actually made these out of blackout material, and they are just amazing. You can have all the lights on in here and have these on the windows, and if you're outside you cannot see a thing. It just looks completely black, so it looks like it's just tinted windows and there's no lights on inside. So you can be here, lights fully on, nothing to worry about. So these just go on easy as this. They've got magnets in them, so they kind of stick together a little bit, but they sit nice and flush to the windows. And they go something a bit like that. Yeah, so you could be like outside going like this, trying to look in, you won't see a thing, it just looks completely black. It's amazing. So if you wanted to park in a lay-by, someone to see if there's anyone in there, nothing to worry about. I'm not going to do the back one because it works exactly the same as this one. You get a rough idea. So on the back door, we have another switch and the other two lights. And the idea of this is, I'll show you actually, you stay here. We can stand underneath the tailgate. And we've got some light, and it's really bright, it's really good. And at the back we have 2 more storage boxes. This is a little fold-up table, 2 gas stoves. All these boxes fit like a glove. We've got jump leads, we've got fluorescent jackets, emergency maps, some stinking old tool bag, ratchet set, torch, everything you need. I think eventually I would like to replace these with some wooden boxes, just to look a bit more like, I don't know, just plastic looks a bit tacky, doesn't it? This is my van build so far. I'm far from happy with it. There's still so much I want to do. You know, the basics are there, and it's all we needed to go across France. Since we've been to France, there has been one addition. That's been the bike rack, which is now black. If you want to see us fit in the bike rack, there's a previous video of that. And also, if you want to see me painting it black, there's a previous video for that as well. I hope you enjoyed my van build. There's going to be updates for it, and I'll update you when I have changed a few things. Anyway, I'm going to go back to sleep now, so see you later.